Alrighty, alright. I'm Mark the Clive Lowe. Welcome along to With Love from LA. We're here every month, spotlighting our favorite LA creatives, sharing some new names and new faces and new music with you, and getting to know some folks as well. So while you're here, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and thank you to the Glendale Arts and Culture Commission for supporting what we do and making this possible. So today's in conversation guest, who will also be performing her in concert stream for us next Wednesday, is my favorite beat scientist, Linafornia. And she's repping for LA's Leimert Park area and a familiar face to all the beat heads around LA for sure. The now retired LA club night, The Low End Theory, was a spot where you could definitely hear her do a thing. We've had her through at church, Beat Cinema. She was out there smashing their beat battles, and really one of the freshest sonic shapers around anywhere today. So we're going to chat with her a little bit, get to know about her a little bit, her process, and how LA kind of features in her personal story. Linafornia.
Hi.
How are
Hey, what's up,
you?
Mark? Good. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Thanks for
Mm,
joining us.
Thanks for having me. This
Good to
is
see
cool.
you. How's your
Good
day
to
been
see you.
today?
Um, it's been a day. It's been cool. It's been cool. Pretty mellow. Thank you. How's your day
Okay.
been?
My day has not been bad. Running around a little bit, and then I was like, let me get everything done so I can just chill and have a good chat with Lena.
That's
Because
right.
we've hung out at the gig a few times, but never really got to sat down and really chop it up. So this is cool.
That's true. We haven't. Yeah, we haven't. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm happy to be. I'm always happy to talk to you. Like whenever you like hit me up, I'm like, Mark, this is nice.
Ah, no, I
It's
really
always
appreciate
like
that.
good news. It's like, this is gonna be a nice call, or like this is gonna be a nice interaction. Like,
It's important to have those, right?
yeah, it is.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
in this day and age. But we'll get to that stuff.
Yeah.
so so for people who don't know you,
Mm-hmm.
can you give us a little bit of an intro? Who is Lena Fornia? Like where you grew up and how music came in the picture.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. Well, I go by Linafornia. Everybody calls me Lena. I started making beats at around like maybe 2014. I'm
Nice.
from Leimert. I'm from Los Angeles, specifically a little neighborhood called Leimert Park. Um, yeah, and I've been making beats since like 2014. I feel like I've been a student of the culture way before that, though. Like I feel like I was a student of the culture first, and
Mm,
just like really like loving going to shows and like Low in Theory or like just different shows with like my favorite beat makers doing their thing live, like Ross G, rest in peace, Flying Lotus.
mm, mm.
Yeah, just seeing a lot of J Rock, watching J Rock DJ, like really dope sets, Dilla
Oh my
Day,
God,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So that's always been like my favorite, my jam since like I've been going to shows since maybe 2011, and I never thought like I wasn't really before when I was just going to shows. I was just going. I just went as a supporter because I genuinely love the music, and I
Yeah,
genuinely just
yeah.
wanted to be around it. Yeah. So like I would just go, and I didn't really think about making music or really making my own beats or getting really into like making my own beats until I went to this show called Bass Space that Sam from Pure Filth put together. And Pure Filth is like
Uh-huh.
the premier sound system in LA. Like
Mm-hmm.
he puts together the best sound system for like all the festivals and stuff. And I went to like my that was like my first beat show where I saw like Monopoly, Take, Flying Lotus, Rosh G, like a
Oh,
bunch of people, teams, like all like the really really dope, like the best of the best out
the
of like
illest. Wait, so
yeah the illest.
were you familiar with them before that show?
Only like Flying Lotus.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then Teeps because I used to watch Adult Swim a lot, and
Yeah.
I liked how I always loved how Adult Swim merged like the visual aspect with the music aspect, specifically
Mm-hmm.
beats as well. Like you know what I mean? Because they could have put like some like some like Pink Floyd to like some trippy visuals, but they chose like
Totally.
artists like Dilla and
Mm-hmm.
Teebs and Flying Lotus. Like they chose like those cats to like show off and
Yeah.
like so I thought that was real. That's always been special to me. So I always like that's kind of like introductory like Adult Swim, and then I started going to shows, and then I finally saw these cats live, and I was just like blown away, like really blown away, like specifically by like Raj G.
Oh my
Like
God.
seeing
Yeah.
him play live
Oh.
for the first time is like, especially on a sound system like a wall to wall, like almost
Mm-hmm.
6 feet tall, like sound
Mm-hmm.
system, wall to wall, like crazy. And it was like dope, you know what I mean? Like it was dope to watch him conduct all this madness with such like grace and calm and
Yes.
like
Yes.
super like
Mm-hmm.
mastery.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, always like from there I was just like, yo, what if I got so good at making beats? What if I got so tight at it that I could get on lineups with these cats? Ooh, that would be tight. So then I started doing it, and I started making beats, and I wanted to get so good that like I could earn like my slot on like really dope lineups because
Right.
like one thing about it was like I love going to these shows. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. It's dope. Everything sounds amazing. I'm having a great time. One thing I did notice though, and and I don't know, I'm not trying to fault anybody, but one thing I noticed is that there were no women
It's all
doing
dudes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there were no women on the beats like that, like on these
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
machines, and I'm just like, what's
Hold
that
up.
about? Yeah, I'm just like, what's that about? Like, so I'm like, what's that about? So I guess maybe I sought to change that, because I'm very
Yeah.
aware about like Georgia and Mojo and
Of
Toki
course.
Monster
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I've never at the time I'd never seen them live. I was only
Mm.
seeing men on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, hmm, okay.
Let me
Like
do a
this
little
is
thing.
yeah, let me do a little ting and work my way up to it. Like what if I just like I'm just gonna get so good at it that I'm gonna earn all the respect and all the accolades I can and get on these lineups with these amazing artists. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I did. I set out to do,
That's
and
exactly what happened. Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. Yeah, yeah. And I built up to this point. I released my first album, my first project in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
and
That
that
was
went
young. That
real
was young, right?
young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and that went over very well.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really grateful for all the opportunities that that demonstration has brought me so up to this point. And now I'm working on new stuff now, and it's feeling really good, and I'm taking my time for sure. It's been a minute since I released Young because that was in 2016, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's 2020, and I am taking my time, I'm taking my time for sure, but I am happy to say that I am making progress on new projects and stuff and new ideas to release. Hopefully next year, I would hope so, but I don't want to jinx myself. But I am working on. I am. It's like there's a skeleton there, which is
Yeah.
more than what I
Yeah.
could say in like 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway,
Everything in its right place, time and place, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
So, I think the first time I probably heard you do your thing
hmm
was, I don't know if it was a Queens of the Stone Age party, but it was in that
Queens
space.
of the New Age.
Sorry, it's Queens of the New Age. Sorry, bugging out.
It's
But
okay.
that space next to the Lyric Theater.
The space next to the Lyric Theater. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever been to the Lyric Theater before,
Okay.
so
Well,
I'm
you
not
you
sure.
you're playing next door to there. It was on La Brea.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
You got it right.
I
Yeah.
think it was with like Anna Wise and like
Yeah. 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 That night.
yeah,
That night.
yeah,
So
with
that.
Anna Wise and
Yeah.
Mariba no Arima Adara.
Yes.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Exactly.
And that was
Hey,
Queens of the. That was my first Queens of the New Age show.
you smashed that shit. Like, oh
Thank
my
you.
lord.
Because I was feeling very like, ah, that night. I remember that night because I was like, oh my God, I'm late. Ah. Just
No,
freaking out.
that was killing it. And and you're for people who haven't seen you and that, you have the SP405, and what's the other one?
Only at the
The
time, I only had the SP404,
the
I
404.
think. I
Yeah.
think I might have actually. You know what? I think I had to. Like
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
I had to. After 2015, I was play. I first started playing my shows in 2014 with SP404, and I was playing free shows like every week for like a year and some change. Like
Putting them
just
hours
because,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
just to practice demonstration, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then 2015 I got the 555,
The
and that was like
555,
a
right.
lot of fun. And then
Hmm.
from that point I did all my shows with two of them in tandem, the 404 and the 555.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're up there flipping like old school soul and jazz shit, and just like bringing a whole
Brazilian
different rhythm
stuff.
to it. And
Hmm.
so what was the soundtrack like when you were a kid, like in the house and that? What were you
Well, like
hearing?
I was listening, I think I was more so listening to a lot of like dance hall.
Oh, okay.
Because my parents are like my family's from Belize.
Uh huh.
So my sister listened to a lot of dance hall. Like my cousins used to come out, my older cousins that were my sister's age used to come over and they do all the new. They'd make like home videos of doing all the latest dance hall dances in the '90s and stuff. So
Love
I
that.
super remember that vividly a lot. Like I remember that most. Like those are like my most vivid memories of music.
Uh huh.
My brother was listening to like hip hop, like he was like a hip hop guy, so he was listening to like Mama Said Knock You Out and But You Don't Hear Me, and like Joe Cooley and
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Rodney O and Joe Cooley and like The Bridge Is Over, The Bridge Is Over. Yeah, that reminds me of my brother. That like whenever I hear that, I'm like,
Word.
oh, that reminds me of my brother. The Bridge Is Over. And so that was him. And then like, my mom, she was, she's like I look at her as like a cultural ambassador for
Mm.
Girlfriend people, Belizean culture, Girlfriend culture, because my parents are Girlfriend people.
Uh huh.
And they have a music called Punta
Yeah.
Rock, which is
Yeah.
like a fast paced dancing music. And we listened to it. There was a lot of that, obviously, and like
Mm.
also there's some other cats that I remember my parents listening to. There's a I can't remember the name though, but like I remember certain reggae artists for sure.
Right.
So it was like mostly a
Right.
lot of like reggae dance hall stuff. Yeah.
That low end was trained in you young.
I guess so. And Fleetwood Mac.
And Fleetwood Mac. All right.
Yeah, my dad's like a big fan of Fleetwood Mac and Al
Okay.
Green and Creedence Clearwater.
Wow, you had a bit of everything. That's so dope. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, but they weren't. It wasn't a lot of funk, or it wasn't a lot of soul or R&B in the house,
Right.
which is kind of crazy. Or
Wow.
jazz,
Yeah,
no
right.
jazz.
Wow.
Yeah,
So would what would little Lena think of you now? Like, would she have seen this coming?
she was like, I don't know. She'd just be like, what is all this? Like, I
This
don't
is
know.
dope.
And actually, it would be dope. It was dope because like, from when I was like maybe she would think it was dope. Like she would
Yeah.
kind of be like, yo, this is dope. Because like I always like me speaking a little like, oh well, I always wanted to be a DJ anyway, so this is really dope. Because at 12 years old, like
Hmm.
I wanted to be a DJ. Like I knew I was
Okay.
gonna be a DJ. I
Okay.
knew
Dope.
like I was gonna
Yeah.
be like DJing at Power 106 and like DJ
Yeah.
for 106 in Park, like all these
Hmm.
like obsolete kind of music constructs that were really popping back in the day in like
Totally.
2002
Hmm.
that are like not really relevant now.
Right. Right. Right.
But like I always wanted to be a DJ from when I was like mad young. And so
Wow,
like
that's
but
cool.
then yeah, but I didn't have like when I was 12, I wanted to be a DJ, but I just didn't have the, I didn't have the equipment,
Mm,
so now, like, I feel like my dreams are manifesting in a different way, like in a weird way. They kind of manifested in a way I totally couldn't fathom at the time, because
mm.
I had no idea of beat culture or the beat community when I was like 12, 13 years
Of
old.
course, yeah.
Matter of fact, I didn't find out about like beat culture or like the producer community until like, well, until I was like maybe 20, 19. Like, honestly,
But that's
so.
cool because you really appreciated it when you found out about it. You know,
Oh, I did. I
and you could
fully immersed.
relate, like generationally, you could relate as well.
Yeah, I fully immersed myself into it. Like listening to like MF Doom. That was like my first introduction to like underground hip hop, like
Yeah.
tempo based. Besides Tribe, but
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
like MF Doom, because he was actually like putting out like special herbs and spices, which is like
Yeah.
exclusively beat tapes, like
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
like just all instrumental. So
Mm-hmm.
that was like my first introduction to just instrumental projects.
Wow. Dope.
Yeah, yeah, special herbs and spices, like the whole volume, like all of the volumes. So yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, that was like my first introduction, and then my friend who like was my friend who was from Odd Future,
Uh
he
huh.
put me onto Madlib because like Stone Throw was kind of courting Odd Future at the time,
Right.
like in
Mm-hmm.
2008 or whatever. Like they were, well, maybe not courting, but like they really liked like what Odd Future was doing,
Right.
in 2008. So they would like, he had like a crate full of just like music, like a crate full of Stone Throw swag, and he just let me like go in and pick whatever I wanted, and like he gave me my first Madlib CD, which is like Flights to Brazil, which is my
Okay. Yeah, I love it.
favorite,
Mm-hmm.
favorite
Mm-hmm.
medicine show by Madlib. And
Yeah.
I like totally like flipped my whole shit. I was like, whoa, like this is it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, every medicine show is like school is in session, right?
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it like his medicine shows like a big like album collect the record collection flex, like
Yeah.
pretty much every medicine show is like a record collection flex. Like, here's my the best of the best of my African jazz extra African funk collection, and I picked the best of the best tracks out of this. Here you
Yeah.
go. You're welcome. Like, it's dope. I
Absolutely.
love Madlib. He's my favorite producer.
And like you talk about all these great producers and beat makers, and they really, they define the LA sonic now, right?
Mm.
And for the last 20 years, and you're absolutely in that lineage and doing your own thing along with them. It's really dope to see,
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I think especially considering, Russ, like, rest in
Bruh.
peace.
Yeah.
I mean, he incepted so much and created so much and contributed so much, and
Mm.
there's that, there's a responsibility to take the culture forward and continue those dreams and ideas and passions, right? And
Yeah, in
that's
your own. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that's where I see, you're like you're doing your thing, but it fits so perfectly into that,
Mm.
supporting that, you know pushing the culture, continuing the
Yeah.
lineage, and supporting the greats. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily, oh, I'm just like, I'm not like, I'm definitely not here to replace G, like, because
Oh
nobody can
no,
replace G. And
no.
it's not like I'm trying to become or emulate him at all. Like, I have my own ideas and my own
Mm-hmm.
influences and my own upbringing that, like, that is like a pretty much like a catalyst to me bringing my own flavor to things and my
Mm.
own visions and ideas to things. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's definitely, I feel you. Like, it's definitely that. Like, like G was definitely an influence for sure, and just like opening up like my mind like to different ideas of how like just sonically just different sonic ideas and experimentation. Yeah.
Mm.
and like, especially experimenting with 808s and
Mm-hmm.
experimenting with low ends and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, and maybe not so perfect loops and stuff like that.
Love
You
that.
know what I mean? Like not so perfectly looped things. It's like a little lag, like
Oh. Yeah.
because like he's like that's what that was like his like modality, just like
Totally.
really
Totally.
free, really like spaced out, really like African space program, like really that ASP,
100%.
like real ASP shit, so where I'm coming from is like, and I see that, and I've always like been in support of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I work with people from the ASP camp that's like family to me, like Kahil Sadiq, and like I'm cool with Eagle Nebula, that's my girl, and like but
Oh,
I
yeah.
yeah, but like for me, especially because I feel like I came in later than a lot of than everybody else. Like I feel like I
Right.
came in a lot later. I definitely feel like I'm bringing in my own like ideas, like prismatic
Yes.
universe. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like just a prismatic point of view. Like that's where I'm at with it. So, and I'm finding that within myself. Like I didn't always have that. So now, like I feel like it's now becoming. It's. I feel like it's what I'm. The kind of like ism I'm on is kind of been revealing itself more to me this year, more than
Mm.
ever, which is interesting, like this year and a little bit of last year, but more so this year. It's like I'm becoming into this more of this identity, like idea and concept that like always like seems to resonate with me, or like it always seems to
Mm.
gravitate towards me,
I
which is
love that.
interesting.
Do you
Hmm.
think that that kind of, what you're describing with this year, and obviously a lot is going on this year, like
Yeah,
for the world, and
yeah,
it's, do you think there's an energy in that which is kind of convergent with how you're creating?
convergent.
Well, like kind of like it's running, it's influencing it, and kind of has it made a difference to you and where you're at with your path and journey, that the
I
world is how it is now? And
I think so in a way, but I don't think it's in a way that other people would expect it to be. You know what I'm saying? And I also sidebar, I really like that word convergent. Really like
take
that
it.
word. I have a whole thing about words of the week that I like. I don't know. I find a word and I like stick to it for like at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, lock it
But
in
anyway,
there.
convergent, yeah. This week was congruent, but convergent
Oh,
might be, yeah,
congruence, great.
yeah. But anyway, I think that like to what you were saying, as well, back to what you were saying, um, I think it has affected me, but not in a way that I think that like people that other people would expect. Cause like okay, so boom, like I'm hearing like a lot. I hear like a lot of different like testimonies, or like people, talking about how like people talking about the effects of COVID and how it's affected their creativity. And some people have been able to like pivot from one idea
Mm-hmm.
of like capital, like making money or whatever or something,
Yep.
to another, a totally different idea, and they're able to pivot, and it's like a super graceful pivot. And oh, like I just found this beautiful new, like wonderful, I'm doing something new now, and this is so great, and sunshine, and oh, the sun will come out tomorrow.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's dope, and that's dope. But then also like there's other things like, you know, sometimes like I don't think I relate to that, to where like it was like, oh, like the pivot was just so fast and easy. Like I couldn't relate to that, because I had like a really tough time with it at first. I had a really tough time with it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and I don't know, like maybe like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like even with questions like these, like people, I feel like maybe people are like are expecting some kind of super profound and deep ass answer, and
Right.
I'm just
Right.
like, actually, like no, I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what I can say is like, in a way, COVID has kind of brought like different things together, like different communities together. And when I talk about communities, I'm talking about specifically like Leimert Park. Like I like for whatever reason, I like could like just like the, I guess maybe the effects of COVID, whatever COVID is doing, and like how it's like melding and like pulling apart communities and concepts and constructs
Mm-hmm.
like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's brought me closer to Lamert Park. Like I'm a lot more active within Lamert Park, like in contributing and like helping out wherever I can and stepping in like whenever I can. Like I'm participating a lot more in my community, which I really love.
I
And
love
like
that.
and then that like I really appreciate it because like community is something that I've always searched for and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not always found in LA, to be
Yes.
quite honest with you. It's not something that I've always really found in LA. And so like I would like the before like I would like really like sometimes I would get really like discouraged by
Mm.
the way things would be going in LA, but then I would go to Oakland and I would just get charged right back up because
Oakland's the
Oakland is like,
vibe.
yeah, Oakland is like my safe haven when I'm
Ooh.
feeling like I'm at like my last leg, like I'm out of here, like I want to like, and then I'll go to Oakland and I'll just be like, as soon as I touch the soil, I'm a brand new woman.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
like refreshed. I feel a community there that like values me and cares for me
Yes.
in a way.
Yes.
Not to discredit any support from LA
Mm-hmm.
because I appreciate everybody like all the support. The I appreciate the support I had received in LA, but there was a certain sense of community that I felt was lacking in
Yeah.
LA, or I felt was not sincere in a way.
Yeah.
Like
I
yeah,
mean, I'm not from here, so I know exactly what you mean.
yeah. Yeah, and then it's also really funny, and I don't know, whatever, but I'm just gonna be transparent. Like
Yeah.
I traveled for like 2 3 years. Like
Mm-hmm.
from young, I was just going like getting booked in different states and stuff, and I would go out there, and like I would go to like Durham,
Mm.
and like and they would be like, yo, like people, I guess, like there's a conception, I guess, online that makes like the West makes it look like the West is just all together and just
Right.
like all like
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah. Yeah.
together all the time, and they're just like, yeah, just hit up, da, 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 da. And I'm like, I actually don't even kick it with them,
Right.
not just like,
Which is normal. It's
yeah.
just a perception of
It's a
LA.
perception,
Yeah.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
a perception thing. So they think I'm
Yeah.
like cool with X, Y, and Z, and I'm just like, actually,
Yeah.
I have not seen. I don't know, really know. Like, I don't even have his number. Like, I don't even have her number.
Mm-hmm.
But like
Mm-hmm.
the perception
Mm.
of like then they think that we're just like also like all in together now, and like it's just like I wish it was. But the reality of it wasn't like that. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? But like in any case, like I was saying, like going to like places like Durham, they're like, oh yeah, we want to be the low end theory of like we want to be the North Carolina version of the low end theory. We want to be
Yeah.
the Las Vegas version of low end theory. We
Yeah.
want to be the Minnesota, like the Texas, like the Austin version of low end theory.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to all these different places and just like seeing how influential low end theory
Oh my
has
God.
been.
Yeah.
Like
Change the world.
right. Yeah, like that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really dope. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's very interesting. But nah, just circle right back around, like finding community. I felt like I had that in Oakland when I didn't feel like I had that as much in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't until like I started like coming around, like it wasn't until like maybe after Juneteenth of this year in Lamert Park that like I really the spaces in Lamert Park started being more activated, more musically
Yeah.
activated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now it's like I participate a lot more now. Like I'm demonstrating more in my community, and like
Mm-hmm.
I'm being embraced by like my community in Lamert Park. It's not like an LA thing. It was like a Lamert Park thing, and that's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
found my community. Not so much like as like a LA thing, but like more so like in Lamert Park, like my home, like
I
my
love that.
neighborhood.
I
You know
love
what I'm
that.
saying? So
Yeah.
so now like I feel like so much better now. Like I feel more fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like more. I definitely feel more fulfilled and more just more filled up. Like just like man, like I'm really grateful to be here. I'm really happy to contribute. People want me here.
Mm.
People like appreciate me. I know everybody. Everybody knows me. Like I feel like I have a community now. Now I feel like I have a community that that values me, that will that that protects me in a sense or whatever. Like, because protection is a thing for women. Like, protection is a
Yes.
thing for
Yes.
myself. Protection is
Mm-hmm.
a thing for women. Protection is a thing for Black women. So it's just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like it's a big thing. Like, for me, it's a big thing, and to feel that way in Lamert while I'm like I'm contributing
Mm-hmm.
is a huge relief and a
Yes.
huge
Yeah.
sort. It's a relief.
I
Yeah.
love that. And Lemert is, like my interaction with Lemert has largely been through the world stage, and
Mm,
it's always Lemert has always given me this great sense of, we're about community. Like
mm,
whether it's fully activated at that time or not, the
mm,
foundation of what Lemert Park means
mm,
to Black Angelinos is it's about community.
mm.
And so if through COVID and the lockdown and stuff, that I mean I've seen it from what you've been doing, what the world stage has been doing,
Mm,
bringing music and a little bit of culture, like living culture, back to the neighborhood,
mm,
and it's really great. And it just people come out because they need it, and it feeds them and it supports them. And
mm.
I mean, I know you because you're doing what, like a monthly
Yeah,
show there, right?
I do a monthly, once a month, and it's outside. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's all COVID safe.
Yeah, COVID safe, and it's once a month, so it's not like I'm there every week. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
Mm-hmm.
like, I do it once a month, and it's like I just had my fourth one. Every first Thursday, it's called Chef's Kiss, and
Chef's Kiss. I love the
mhm.
name.
and I named it Chef's Kiss, and like it's I just had like our fourth month, which was last Thursday, and it's been like growing. It's been growing for it to be only once a month too is like dope, because I didn't want to oversaturate myself.
Of
I didn't want to
course. Yeah,
like,
keep it special.
yeah, keep it very special, keep it kind of rare, like a little
Mm-hmm.
special thing, like a treat, you know what I'm saying? So it's just been like really fun to like demonstrate out there. And like, people out there, they're ready, like they are so receptive to what I have to offer.
Mm.
Like, flipping these samples and like playing these old records and then flipping them. And then so it's like there's something there for everybody. And if you stay long enough, you'll get what you need,
Yeah, it tells a
which is dope.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so that's a lot of fun. And like, it just goes to show, like, like, people are like, I don't know, like, I feel as if, like, I think society looks at Black people as like a monolithic being, like as
Mm-hmm.
monolithic
Mm-hmm.
cultures. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we
Yes.
only like this type of hip hop. We only like,
Mm-hmm.
this type of religion. We only like this type of hip hop. Whatever, whatever. Like, oh, if it's not on the radio, if it's not on Power 106 or
Right.
92.3, we don't care about it. But it's not true at all. Like, there's not true at all. Like, there's an
For
audience.
real.
There's a Black audience that will appreciate this kind of like esoteric, sample
Mm-hmm.
based, experimental hip hop we have to
Yeah.
offer, and they're there, and they're there in the Lamert Park, and they really like appreciate it, like they really dig it. So it's like it's more open minded there for
Yeah.
sure. It's definitely more for the open minded.
I love that, and I wonder if like part of that, for me, I look at making music for myself. I look at it like storytelling, and by creating something which isn't kind of conventional, then
Hmm.
I'm offering an alternative kind of story, like offering an alternative ending to the story, or an
Mm.
alternative chapter. And
Yeah.
I wonder if right now, we're at a point in time with the coronavirus and politics and social justice and a lot of things where we don't really know what the next chapter is, right? Like
We don't.
it's a page turner, and so I wonder
Yeah.
if through arts and culture, by offering these alternatives that do not subscribe to the mainstream, that's part of what is reflecting what's happening in our society, but also giving aspirational hope and inspiration. Like there are different ways this can happen. There are different solutions, there are different choices, and that's
Mm.
made kind of illustrated by the art and the music. And
Mm.
I hear that in what you do, like
Mm.
100%.
Yeah, I think maybe, That's a really good point. I think maybe I had it in my head, but I think that now is like the time where like unconventional options are being explored because weird shit is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
weird stuff is happening now, and so now it's like okay, things like these occurrences are not normal. So now we have
No.
to explore. But so now you have to explore like unconventional ways of coping mechanisms, or
Mm-hmm.
unconventional ways of making something happen,
Mm-hmm.
or like maintaining, or stuff like that. So now like I guess a maybe there is like a correlation between that too.
Mm. Yeah. Yep. No, I think it's quite. It's such an interesting time for us to be. We're living, witnessing history being made every day, you know,
Hmm.
and reflecting it through the music, which I think
Hmm.
is like an important part as as cultural archivists. Like
Hmm.
we're part of the library, right, of history.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Okay, so next week we have your in concert set,
Hmm.
and we can share with people that we're going to be coming to them from Limert Park, from the world
Yeah, the
stage.
world stage, the famous, legendary world stage.
Yes. And so share with us a little of what to expect next week.
Well, I'm just really excited because I get to play with my live band. So that's
A
gonna be good. Like my right hand guys, Otis is gonna be on the sax and Greg on the drums. My doing a live band with my beat set with
Mm-hmm.
it's always been like something that I always wanted to do, and I was like, thanks to like you and Low and Theory, I was able to do that. Like I did my first live band beat sets with Low and Theory, and then again under a year later when you booked us for church
Yeah.
for the church anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, like and now with Chef's Kiss, like I get to do that once a month,
I
and
love
like
it.
yeah, and it's like it's really fun, and I get to do it once a month, and like my brothers in arms are down to join me, and it's a great time. So I'm excited to like be doing a live stream demonstration of it next week. Like I'm excited to do a live stream demonstration because I'll be like playing um new stuff from projects I'm working on,
Mm-hmm.
specifically more like my Lavender album, which is
Mm.
going to be like a next release, and then like my Prism EP, which is another like a experimental like EP with like a couple like a small EP, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was more so like from the Lavender project, and I'm excited because just like the live band, just marrying the two hip hop, the way like hip hop and jazz are such incongruence with each other. Such incongruence with each other. It's just like it's just like it's like a beautiful marriage, and it's like like I was saying something to my friend earlier, like, man, like, where would hip hop be without jazz? And where would
Oh my
jazz
god.
be without hip hop?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like we needed each other, you know what I'm
siblings
saying?
across time and space.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. That is nice. That's really nice. Siblings across time and space. That's
Oh,
nice.
it is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's really nice actually. That's like a memoir, like a book memoir or something. Like that's nice.
Oh, or maybe that's the little EP we do. You know.
Oh,
Oh.
yes, because I've been wanting to get to that broken beat ism.
Oh, all of the isms.
And
All of the isms. I
I know
love
that's
it.
like your whole like your yeah. I've been like asking you about broken beat stuff, and like yeah. So
Oh, we can make that all happen. Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
cool. Oh man,
Well,
dope.
that's
Yes, I'm
next
excited. It's gonna
next
be
week's going
really
to be
dope.
super cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's 5 p.m. LA time on on
Mhm.
Wednesday.
Mhm.
And yeah, can't wait. That'll be super cool. And got to shout out the Catalyst boys, Greg Paul,
Woo! Greg Paul,
Otis.
Otis,
Yep.
and their new album Nine
Oh.
Lives from the
Oh.
Catalyst. Their debut album, Catalyst
Oh.
debut album Nine Lives, which is an amazing project.
Such a heavy record. So much fun. So
Amazing.
much groove.
So good.
And I mean,
Good.
we're talking about community. That's community in action right there. The Catalyst crew. Oh
Yeah.
my
My
god.
Inglewood boys, my Inglewood
Ooh.
homies.
Okay,
We're all the
so
same.
let's. I don't want to keep you. You know, we got things to do, beats to make.
Sure.
But if you could just for us, if you could sum up your LA, what LA means to you in like a word or a sentence, or
Hmm.
what would that be?
LA to me is ooh. LA to me is like a prismatic portal because it's like always something different. There's such little small microcosms within LA, musical microcosms within LA, and at some point they all
Mm,
connect and intertwine with each other. It's really weird, but it's really cool. Like it's such like a it's
it's a
it's a
convergence.
it's yes, and it's very concentrated. It's a convergence. It's a congruent convergent.
Ooh,
And
alliteration and
so,
all.
oh yeah, but yeah, it's like very concentrated, and it's like, but
Mm,
there's such little small like microcosms of like styles of music and music scenes and communities, and like eventually it's really dope that like some like they intertwine in some kind of
mm.
way. You would never think that
You'd never think.
you would never think that this would go with that, but
Hmm.
it does. You know,
Yeah,
it's like a ill gumbo or something. I don't know.
it's
It's
the
dope
illest
though.
gumbo. I mean, there's gumbos all around the world, but this is definitely one of the illest.
Yeah, definitely one of the illest gumbos in the world, you know, for real.
Oh, thank you for joining us, and so great to chat with you today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So people can check out the stream on Wednesday, and then
Yes.
everything about Linafornia. We have the links on the website on withlovefrom.la.
Hmm.
But yeah, Lena, thank you, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate with Love from LA for giving me the opportunity to demonstrate with my friends next week. It's going to be really dope.
Can't wait. Take care, yeah.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Peace. Thank you all for joining us today, and we're really looking forward to having Linafornia in concert next Wednesday. Tune in. It'll be on our Facebook and YouTube, 5 p.m. Pacific, live from Lemert Park's World Stage Historic Jazz Club. So you can learn more about Linafornia, including links to her music, at our website with lovefrom.la. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and remember to turn the notifications on too. Have a great rest of your day wherever in the world you are, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks very much. Take care.